Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say welcome to another fascinating update of the appearance of George G. Solo on British Radio Africa on December the 15th. Save the date. George Solo is coming with fire. In fact, 3 years ago, George Solo predicted that George Weah was going to be the one-term president, and I have that recording here tonight. I'm going to play it for all of you. So please share the video, invite a few friends as we get ready to tell you about the update for George G. Solo's appearance on British Radio Africa on December the 15th. I'd like to say hi to my cousin, A.B. Boblet. I also like to say hi to RB, and Adiaha Omod is also in the building. So come on now, share the video, invite a few friends as we get ready to do a little bit of demonstration here tonight and as we prepare ourselves for December 15th. George Solo is exclusively coming to British Radio Africa. Hey, spread the word, man. I'm telling you. So, Mr. George Solo is coming to British Radio Africa on December the 15th. You might just want to tell friends, relatives, and loved ones. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, Father God, we want to give you praise. We want to give you honor. We want to magnify your name. You woke us up this morning. Others are lying down on hospital beds, can't talk, can't walk. But you've given us the opportunity for us to be heard. With that, we want to say thanks. In the name of Jesus, we have given you thanks. Well, folks, some heard the name, some heard people talk about him, and you've gotten the opportunity tonight to match the face, voice, and of course, name. The mastermind, the doctor of love, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of radio. Gracias tu payege, zebon pleo de ranaje. Basi Yomplu, he doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. Africa's media do extraordinaire. I'm ASHFORD GRLEY. Welcome to the show. And you know the say when white men know your friend black man. Don't see okra and solo bone because you can't hide your nakedness from David Bucket. And I'd like to say hi to Bulu, Aisha Howard, Mrs. And I also like to say hi to my friend and brother, the Raymond Clark, Patience Bowie, Celia Williams, and Gribble King is also in the house with that, folks. I'm telling you, we've got a little bit of goodies in store for you. Share the video, invite a few friends so that we can together have a great time. George G. Solo is coming to British Radio Africa on December the 15th. What does he have in store for the Liberian people? Big question. Let's find out as George Solo appears on British Radio Africa on December the 15th. Mr. Sylvester Dodd is watching from Burrowville, Liberia. Sylvester, how you doing, my brother? It's been a long time. Anthony M. Jala is also watching from New Jersey. Anthony, hey, listen, don't be selfish tonight. Invite a few friends so that we can together have a great time. For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling myself, in terms of what I love to do. Bob Moore is also watching. But listen, man, we are going to do us this time around. We're going to West Africa, Liberia. We're going home, and we are going not in search for jobs, but we are going to make our presence known. In terms of the media, the media is one of the most powerful tools in any country. Violet Massacre, our task, Conan, and the rest of the crew. Listen, welcome to the show. Some people that just get up and disrespect people. This lady actually made me mad today, and she was talking about, oh, why you just a week before the roundup you went and endorsed JMB and you called JMB useless. And listen, maybe you don't know who you're dealing with. I would never shy away from what I said. Yes, I said JMB was useless and George Weah was useless. I'll tell you, the both of them were useless. But I said JMB has a better alternative. I would prefer JMB over George Weah. Nothing significantly going to change. So don't make it seem like I'm looking for a job from Joseph Yuma Boycott. And if you try me, I'll call your name. How you can go disrespect? Y'all sit behind the scene and beg for jobs. We the British Stone. We come here and fearlessly tell you how we feel about our country. For 6 years, I told you George Weah was good for nothing. He didn't mean well for the country. I didn't go hiding to take money and bite my tongue. No. That's why real men work in America. So that when you speak fearlessly. And that's what we know to do. Okay? And I've said this on several occasions. I said the real rogues are coming. Those who have degree in stealing, they're coming. You see, Shedishan had rookie criminals. So they were just taking everything, they didn't know how to steal and stuff. But the guys that are coming back, Joseph Boyka will have to be very careful. Those are the real criminals. And I will continue to speak for the Liberian people and not take side, because we're giving JMB the first 100 days. First, we're gonna look at him, how he's gonna appoint his officials, and we're gonna come out. I made that decision to choose Joseph Yuma Boyka over George Weah because George Weah, like I said, is a criminal. He didn't come with any good intention for our country, and the Liberian people gave him a red card. So take a listen. Very shortly, we're going to go back 3 years ago to some of the things that George Solo said on this platform. People just get up. We quick to forget. The downfall of George Weah started on this platform 3 years ago when we hosted George Solo. And you will listen to him tonight. And listen to some of the things he said 3 years ago that came to pass on November the 14th. Stay tuned. Invite a few friends. Tikito Password is in the building. Government Cooper is also here. Marcus Davids is in the building as well. Folks, let's have fun. I'm waiting for the day where Liberia can avoid witch hunt, where Liberia can avoid brutality, where Liberia can avoid false promises, ghost employees. You have people living in America but on a payroll in Liberia. It didn't just start under George Weah's administration. It started on the previous administration. People would leave the country and come on scholarships abroad, but they're still on the government payroll. Those things have got to stop. Corruption, money laundering. You steal money and then you try to clean up your money. Labose Baboon, a.k.a. Samuel Toy, Greedy Hunter, a.k.a. George Weah. George Weah got the deer on his back, the phone tongue on the side. Then the small little opossum, he can't leave it for anybody. George Weah wants everything for himself. And the Liberian people finally spoke. Then you have all those bad players like sex for jobs. Sex for jobs. You have to sleep with both men and women in exchange for jobs in our country. Those nonsense have got to stop. Tax evasion. You owe $2 million in taxes. You go to the LRA and then they lie for you, say you owe $700,000. Then they divide the money among themselves. No accountability. That nonsense has got to stop as well. My lovely sister, Rebecca Clover, this lady fought for JMB for 6 years. I mean, there were times where she was on Bridge Radio Africa before we took a sabbatical, but she fearlessly spoke out that George Weah was useless. George Weah didn't mean well for the country, you know? But listen, now that you've gotten the opportunity in electing Joseph Yuma Boyka, we won't see that change. We want to see that change. You remember doing the government before George Weah, where you have people double dipping? You have one guy being paid as assistant minister, and the same guy was being paid deputy minister. It went out for a whole year. This guy was collecting 2 checks until he got cut. Then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and decided to pay the money back. So the new rogues then are going, but the real criminals are coming. And that's why we can't take government jobs. And that's why we can't be in the pocket of these politicians. We were never in the pocket of George Weah. We will not be in the pocket of Joseph Yuma Boyka, because somebody will have to speak out. And talking about speaking out, little Joshua, may your soul rest in peace. Ambassador Boyka, if you're listening, a sedition was stoned to death, and he passed away a few days ago. I know I saw your spokesman Mo Ali is saying something about it, but it's not enough. Seditions are Liberians too, while the same way those from the Unity Party people are Liberians. Every Liberian deserves to live in that country. People shouldn't be walking looking over their shoulders. So if you think, say now you've gotten power and you're going to retaliate, you're going to witch hunt people, stop it. Do the audit. Do forensic audit. Because we can't have the commerce minister, Mawani Dix, owning half of the real estate in Detroit. We can't have Humanity PSN stealing the pure money from the central bank and taking it to Freetown. We can't have Simon Toyden building mansions, apartment complexes all over the damn place where they never had these things. We can't have Eugene now with them building homes in Ghana, in Dubai, and other places, because they know the time is out. If the people go after those people and they find out that you stole from Liberia, take it from them. They don't own it. This country belongs to all of us. And folks, if you're just joining us, this is British Radio Africa, giving you a quick update on George Solo. He comes to British Radio on December the 15th. You might just want to tell friends, relatives, and loved ones. Listen, you're live in studio with the golden voice of radio. That now you know me, godly folks. Let us together have fun. Invite a few friends and let's have fun. I'm telling you, we're having a blast tonight. Liberian people, you know, when the people see you on the show, that's when they decide to call, you know, and you be holding me back like that. I have to talk to my people, you know. They call it again. You know, last night we had a very fascinating show last night where we are talking about the togetherness, where people from Grand Jita and people from Nima County can see everybody as family. You know, things were so beautiful back in the day where a girl guy can see the beautiful crown girl and say, you know what, I like that girl, go after her, and they can eventually end up becoming husband and wife. Want to see that same kind of energy, want to see that same kind of spirit again in our country. You know, and last night I was added to a group, the reconciliation group for Nima County and Grand Jita County. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be only two counties. Look around you. If you know that there's a little riffraff between your neighbors, talk about it. My uncle has a house in Ganta, Nima County. You know, and Ganta will be one of the places where British Radio will have a branch. I want to go there and move around freely without looking over my shoulders. The same way my brother Pay can go to Grand Jita without looking over his shoulders. You know, this country belongs to all of us. Maybe God was just waiting to get this monkey off our backs so that we can come to our senses. You know, in the meantime, folks, if you're just joining us, this is British Radio Africa. We're coming your way from the Twin Cities of Minnesota. It's a little bit cold, chilly tonight. Just got home from my low 1212, and I decided to talk to my people. So, but don't forget now, December the 15th, George Solo is coming to British Radio. What does he have to say? George Solo spoke 3 years ago on the same platform when he started the destruction of George Weah. And true to his statement, what most of the things he said 3 years ago, I will give you highlights. Play some of them. Came to pass today. How George Weah only thinks about himself. George Weah doesn't give a damn about anybody else. You know, George Weah walks in the room, all he wants you to do, praise him. Give him praise. It's called cheap praise. Because when you're praising somebody and you're not doing it from your heart, it's called cheap praise. And folks, please start telling people, tell them, oh, ASHFORD, you got work for the thing here. Go to Liberia and seek a job. No, that's not why we spoke out against George Weah. We spoke out against George Weah because George Weah was completely broke before he contested the presidency. And he regained his wealth at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people. And look what we got in return. Grown men sleeping with small boys. Grown women sleeping with small boys. Grown men sleeping with little girls. You have kids now in the tone of 13 to 14 years old. They are breadwinners for the family. Grown men go and beg in the streets just to survive. Joseph Yuma Boyka, we all know that age is not on your side, but the short time you have to be with us, create jobs. You have the experience. You have the expertise. Surround yourself with people who are technocrats. Don't be that George Weah who will give you a job because you like him or because you praise him. He will give you a job because you're loyal to him. Go and look for the professionals and bring them to work. In the meantime, I want to go to Ganta, Nima County, and eat my GB without fear and favor. And I want my brother, a young guy to come to Grand Gito. They'll go to a town where we can sit down and drink palm wine together. We want the Liberia of yesterday. Somebody called the show last night and said, Ashford, the common guy from Grand Gito and the common guy from Nima, they don't have problem. It is the politicians who are trying to make it seem that we have problem. And this nonsense has got to stop. And that's why our presence will be felt in Liberia. You see, the campaign for the next election starts after the last election. And if you ever underestimated the power of the media, you have to think again. Because we will play a very pivotal role as to who becomes president in 2029. The presence of British radio will be felt. You got to speak this thing, man. You got to speak. You got to speak to the people. Let them know that we at British Radio are the media mogul creator. We do big things when it comes to the media. Don't shy away. Invite a few friends. December 15th, George Solo is coming back. And in just a few minutes, I'll play one of his clips. 3 years ago, what did he say about George Weah? Stay tuned. And just in case you're celebrating your birthday, I'd like to say congratulations. And let us show hope that you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. I'd like to say hi to my big brother, Orlando Ware Krinker. It's been a long time, my man. How are you? And I also like to say hi to Pay Elwood, Henry Yango, Young Gate. Hope you all are doing well. And I see my brother Orlando is asking a question. He said, what experience does GMB have? The giant, can you disband, please? Well, don't take my word for it. GMB says he has experience. He has experience in being the vice president for 12 years. He also has experience when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to the Liberia produce and marketing, so LPMC. So, and he's been in the business for what, over 40 years? And when he served as vice president on an Ellen, all he did was learn on an Ellen. The same as with an Albert Turbot. Turbot served 19 years as vice president on the Todman. And when Todman left and Turbot took over, things began to change. We're hoping that some of these things will happen on a JMB. That's what we're asking. We don't know what he has in store for the Liberian people. We don't know what he's bringing, but he claims to be the guy for the job. So he asked for it. The Liberian people have spoken, and they're going to give it to him. So we're hoping that the culture of impunity will go away. Corruption, false promises, ghost employees. How can you be in America working on your citizenship at the same time George Weah got you on the payroll? Hmm? All George Weah girlfriends then in other parts of the world, they're on the payroll. I mean, what kind of nonsense is this? I mean, come on, man. So now that George Weah has less than 60 days to be in power, what is he going to do after he leaves power? I want to see George Weah continue to ride private jet. Do you know how much it costs on a private jet an hour? Anywhere from the tune of $2,000 to $15,000. This boy rode private jet for 6 years at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people. When you play professional soccer and make a lot of money, why you know what rode private jet all the time? You became broke, where people, men and women, were buying your gas for your car. And the Liberian people say, send the boat people giving us hard time. Let us put a mumu there. You finally got the ears of the Liberian people, and this is what you did to us for 6 years. Some people say, okay, George Weah credit. The man, the man walk away a piece. No, George Weah smelly rat. You know that the people are tired with you. And he's smelling. Good thing he listened. You know, the Jefferson Koji and them, they wanted him to steal the election. But he smelled the rat. Something that almost happened in Freetown. And George said, you know what, I can't do this. So sometimes, if you think you own Liberia, the child state people king, and did what they had to do, at the end of the day, guess what? They are no more. People on the child state administration, when child state let some of them die in the streets. People in the Dole government, when Dole let some of them die in the streets. It's not going to be any different from people who never earned $100 a month before in their life. All of a sudden, within 6 years, they have mentions all over the damn place. We're coming for you people. Where we can find it, we'll take it. So don't forget December the 15th. George Solo is coming to Breach Radio Africa. Some of the things he said 3 years ago. Take a listen.
I don't pay a mortgage.
Nathan McGill was your Secretary General when you served as chairman.
Secretary General, Brian from Winston Tolmore.
But he's one of he's the most powerful man in the country now today.
It's good. There are people dying. There are most powerful men in the country that we're talking about. The first day Nathaniel McGill read in front of me and Joe, we are not, you know Joe, we are calling McGee. I said, my man, this is not your name. Your name is McGill. He said, and then he wanted to call me that, hey, this is the kind of, oh, man, I'm in the blessing of the West. I'm comforted. Nobody can come to my house. Tap me or call it tonight. Nathaniel McGill, the man only the president cannot pronounce it. The president call him McGee. The man say, Chairman, and then you want the man coming and name why accept. Your government name that is on your RT, the man call it wrong. He said, Chairman, and then you want the man coming and name why RT. Is that somebody who will be Minister of State? My man, ASHFORD, you know what? Let me tell you, Jack Cameron barbecuing and get a story for Liberia.
George, you nurtured and mentored a lot of folks who have become more powerful in the country now. The likes of Samuel D. Toy.
Yeah, you know what Samuel talking in Liberia?
No.
2014 election, called Chubby Charlie. I called Samuel Toy. He said, Joe, we are against speed on me, because Samuel Toy came back to America and he said, Joe, we are Sege. I came back, I rented a car for him. I brought him back to CDC. And I said that in the midst of all these differences, we are stronger. Call Samuel Toy Jenna. If Samuel Toy Jenna on the phone, Jenna, he argue with you that what I say is lie. put food on your fire, eat it. When you be talking about Joe, we are Samuel Twe, Nathaniel McGill, you'll be talking they put in extra people. No, they are all corrupt people. They are all abusing our people. For the time Joe, we have some professional contract. He said, I will wear Louis Vuitton. For the time Samuel Twe, John Mia Joe, I say, I will praise you so I can get what I get. Nathaniel McGill, for the time John CDC. Yeah. I mean, George G. Cortier Solo telling you, for the time Nathaniel McGill, John CDC, you know, he said.
So George Solo, the former national chairman of CDC, is coming to Bridge Radio on December the 15th. What does he have to say? You just heard him say some of these things 3 years ago. Now he's coming to clarify on some of the things he said, which of course came to pass. What message does he bring for the new administration? What is going to be his role now? Now that we've gotten George Weah out of the way, what does he have to say? So he might just want to please tell friends, relatives, and loved ones to tune in then, December the 15th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. local Liberian time on British Radio International with yours truly, the medicine of the radio, the broadcast commissioner, Africa's media doobie-doo extraordinaire, that now you know me, GRLEY. You know, George Solo said a lot of things. Take a listen.
My grandma, Fulaman born children. He's a wicked motherfucker. He's a wicked motherfucker.
You know, and again, let me leave the line. I don't want to hop the line. The reason why I thought to call back here was just to put Randy in check that, you know, these are some of the selfish and heartless group of people. Right after the election, when Randy was now recognized by President George Weah, he said he was now speaking or propagating messages against the government. Now that he seeks relevance, he tried to now pretend as though he's supporting the government again. We know these kind of people. And these are the people who continue to push and plunge our country in the drain. And that's why we said we will erect the needed checkpoint. We are taking note of all of these things. My cousin is gone. He's not coming back. But the reality remains, those of you who know the real truth, you will expose George Weah and he will get his time. Yes, sir.
You don't know the real truth. Either they depending on government budget or they depending on George Weah to live, so they'll never expose the real truth. When you see nigga like me stand up, you know what it's about? I got my bread. And anything that's wrong, anything that affects my people, anything that affects my nation, trust me, it's George Weah, my George Weah power, talk it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah, so there's a disparity. There's a disparity between people who can pay their rent. There's a disparity between people who can pay their mortgage. And there's a disparity between people who can sit down to these motherfuckers and say, you know what?
Thank you, Lova. And that's the voice of George Solo making his presence known. That's 3 years ago. And George Solo will reappear on British Radio Africa on December the 15th. Tell friends, relatives, and loved ones to see what, in fact, George Solo has in store for you. We have a call on the line. I believe her name is Tony Wilson. Tony, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, I've seen you quite a few times on the social media. This is the first time I've heard your voice. And by the way, you have a you have a pleasant sounding tone.
Well, thank you for saying that.
What brings you to British Radio Africa tonight? What is it that you have in store for Liberia and the Liberian people?
And I like that you said Liberian people, because this is the reason why I'm calling. So let me introduce myself as whatever my name is, but let me just be very clear to you all that I supported CDC during this election, and the reason why that we're talking about Liberia, and now we have a newly elected president. I supported CDC because I felt like Liberians were not ready. We were not ready to bring a replacement for the current president, George Weah. So now we have elected, the president. The person we elected, JNB. So all I'm asking the Unity Party and the newly elected president to do is have an inclusive government. By that, I mean, do not sideline certain people, because they were supporting CDC. So even though we know that you can be the president of the central bank, or we know your qualification, we're not going to put you in certain positions because you were with CDC.
But Tony,
We're asking
Tony,
the Unity Party and JMB to please include all of Liberians who are qualified to do certain things for the country. I'm sorry, you can go ahead and ask the question.
Tony,
it seems like it's something that's been on my heart, so that's why I'm saying it.
But Tony, I think he said that during the campaign. He said his government will be inclusive. You say you will be appointed, you will have a place in his government as long as you qualified. He will bring people from all sides on board, and we are beginning to see that just with the transition team. We saw the vice standard bearer from the Gonklo camp is on the transition team. We saw Sarah Yanti Beslow, who ran a lady. She had her own party. She's on the team. Madela Cooper is also on the team. Lucini Camara, who is the standard bearer of ARCO, is on the team. So we're beginning to see different faces as well. We heard Edward Appleton from the grassroots movement is also on the team.
Okay, what do they have Appleton doing?
No, right now they selected 20 people from East Side to form the transitional team that will usher in the new government. So we're still looking forward to seeing the listing of those who will be appointed in offices. And then that's when we would all hell will break loose if they start to just say only United Party people will get job, because they consider themselves the professionals, so they are going to be inclusive. According to them, they will be inclusive. They will not sign a Eugene Nangwe who will say no United Party will get job in our CDC government.
Eugene was just playing around. He didn't mean that. He was just and as somebody who supported the George Weah led government, I can say that Eugene was just saying, he was just responding to certain things that came against him. He wasn't saying it representing the entire CDC. But I like what you said, Mr. GRLEY.
But let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you, now, what message do you have for your brothers and sisters from the CDC? I mean, they led for 6 years. And now the table has turned. And you have JMB and the Unity Party folks in power now. Why don't we heal the wound and look at these people as they take the mantle of power? If they start to go the other way, then you can begin to speak. But let it go. You lost the election.
Absolutely. And you asked the question. You said, what message do I have for seditionists?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Seditionists are great people. Seditionists, you guys are awesome. So the message I have is that the party was standing for a reason. I hope I don't say it the way I want to say it.
Go ahead. You're liberty to talk.
I feel like if we had less than 1%, how the president was kicked out of what he was kicked out of, how I see it is, I don't want to say it the way I want to say it because I'm the one person who haven't said congratulations to Unity Party. So it'll be difficult for me to, for what I would say for the seditions is hold true to your party, stay strong to your party, follow the lead of current President George Weah. Because when these things happen, we go back, we talk, and this was a very brilliant act from the president. The whole concession, we love that the president did the concession. Seditions, this is not a competition. What we would like to see happen for Liberia is Unity Party said rescue. So if they're rescuing us from not having electricity, we'd like to see electricity. We'd like to see free running water. We'd like to see our economy getting better. So if Unity Party can rescue us, we'd like to see that. We're giving you guys a chance for the next 6 years. So we see what you do. But the last thing I have to say, if you give me an opportunity,
and just before you say that last thing, if you were to change 3 things that you would have done differently on the George Weah's administration, what would it be?
If I would have changed anything,
Yeah,
under CDC-led administration,
that's correct.
The only thing I would have changed is you want me to be brutally honest. You know who you're talking to. You're talking to Bayman Stewart, daughter. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The only thing I would have changed is funding the hospital bill to send Joseph Boyka to hospital and sending him to hospital, and now he makes it seem like it's nothing. That's all I would have changed. The other thing I would have changed is I would have changed the bill that sent Joseph Boyka to the hospital. And the third thing I would have changed, I would change the bill that sent him to the hospital. That's the 3 things I would change. The 3 bills are the same bills. I would change the bill that sent him to the hospital. CDC did not do everything that Liberians wanted. But for all it's worth, I'm going to release a video tomorrow so we can see one thing that happened in Liberia that never happened before. That has never been aired. And the MD and all of them send that video to me. I'm going to release that video tomorrow. CDC did what CDC could do, all things considered. But that's the one thing I would change.
I asked for 3 things and you named 1. So are you saying for 6 years, if you were to do anything differently, the only thing you would have changed is the bill that funded the taking of Joseph Boyka to the hospital? Is that it? Thank you. No further question.
No. Well, okay.
No further question. Give me your closing statement, please, because we have other callers calling.
All right. Let me. My closing statement is that if somebody says, right, if somebody says you have food but you have no appetite, have you tried to figure what that means?
You making a statement, right? Go ahead.
Well, I'm asking Liberians, like, okay, so my partner, Henry Costa, said, you have food, but you have no appetite. I would need the Unity Party and the newly elected government to understand what it means to have food and have no appetite.
Listen,
and that's what we're facing as Liberians.
I believe
we
3
just newly elected these people,
Ms.
and
Stewart,
they have
Ms. Stewart,
no clue what they're doing
Ms. Stewart,
with our country.
Ms. Stewart,
So we have a problem with that.
Ms. Stewart, that statement was made, I believe, 3 to 4 years ago by George Weah. And he was asked to say a prayer.
At this time, we just made that statement 3-4 days ago.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. George Weah made that statement. George Weah said, "Some people,
I know who made a statement,
some
but
people
I'm just
don't.
saying.
Some people. George Weah said
3-4 days ago, and there's a reason for that.
Oh Lord, George Weah says some people don't have food, but they have appetite. And you say, thank God we have We
Now
got
the
food.
people now get food
We
now,
got
and he
food
get
and we
no
got
appetite.
appetite. Okay,
Let
Tony.
me,
Tony, thank you. I
that's
gotta
why I
go,
don't come
Tony.
on the Liberian
Tony.
program, because the thing, I don't have the Liberian accent. So let me put it in my Liberian accent. When they get their food now, they get no appetite. You know what I mean?
Tony.
When you get food, you don't get appetite.
Tony, I want you to come as special guest on the show where the people can see your face.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will come.
Okay, thank you.
So they can understand the thing.
Thank you. Have a
decode the thing for
thank
them.
you. Have a good night.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. We have a 404 number. Tell us your name, please.
Orlando Kenya.
Tell us your name, please.
Orlando Kenya.
Hey, big brother, CM Player. How you doing? Welcome to the show, my brother.
Great. I'm doing great, man. Also,
Okay.
you are very much interested on what you are discussing. I just wanted to give my little input in here.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, you asked the previous caller a question, and if I can expand on it a little bit, she didn't really answer you favorably. There were so many faults into President George Biden, we as government,
Mm-hmm.
and what he didn't do justice to the Liberian people is to have people serving in positions for 6 years without asking them for their success stories, because he has to evaluate every minister or head of private agency and what he goes into those positions for 6 years, and that in my view, it did not serve right for our people. Nobody can evaluate each and every one of them. That's my input on the question you asked us. But secondly, though, I hope that our newly elected president, Honorable Ambassador Joseph Nima Bwaka, will be able to go back into auditing his party, because there were a lot of discrepancies into funds that were being misused and embezzled. Because if you do that, it's not a limitation according to the international, laws, that there's no limitation for war crimes and malpractices, financial malpractices.
30 seconds, please.
So I hope that he will go back into Ellie Johnson's government and the government he's serving to do an audit instead of just being selective. That's just my point I wanted to just reach.
Thank you, big brother. One-time striker for the Liberian national team, Orlando Krinka, out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have a 701 number. Hello, caller. Tell us your name.
Hello, my dear brother. How you doing?
I'm better than good. To God be the glory. Go ahead and make your point. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. My name is Harris Gansi. I'm calling from Fargo, North Dakota. You see, the problem we have in Liberia today, I don't think our problem is with our leadership. I think we are our own problem in Liberia. We, the citizens of Liberia. The bitterness in Liberians just so much till I think the only way forward is to have a peace and reconciliation forum in Liberia that we all can express ourselves to each other, being very honest with ourselves and putting our country first. Our sister that was just online, listening to her after giving her all the opportunity for her to speak, like someone that have experienced life, living in America with the English she's speaking or accent, and she's still telling you, if CDC would do something different, or if CDC, my advice to CDC, if I was given the opportunity is to put medication in hospital for George Joseph Boakai to go to hospital. Can you imagine that? Someone that have lived in America with that accent, live in a civilized society? That shows to you that our problem is bigger than just one government. We have a serious problem in this country that we all need to pay attention to. You know, we live in America. There are some people, the portion of America that live in North Dakota, a lot of people support Donald Trump. When you ask them why you support Donald Trump, they say he's the best. He was the one that God sent for America. That's the same thing I'm hearing from people in Liberia. You know, Josh, we are administration did nothing but carry us back.
Thank you.
The 6 years was a wasted 6 years. You got auditors being killed, broad daylight. You don't have a president to even speak to the nation about it. Okay? You get people, children going missing. You don't have a president to speak. Lady online telling you just to put medication in the hospital for Joseph.
Thank you, brother.
Hospital.
Thanks for calling.
Really?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Okay. Well, you're live. You're listening to ASHFORD GRLEY Live on British Radio International. We're coming your way from Minnesota. Listen, George Solo comes to British Radio on December the 15th. You might just want to tell a friend and a family member. We don't know what he has to say, but he breaks his silence for the first time after these elections. We have a 763 number. Please tell us your name. 763, the last 4 digits of your number, 0450. Tell us your name, please.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Mr. My name is B. Billete, and I call you from Minnesota.
You got 2 minutes. Go ahead, please. Make a point.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Ashford, for giving me the opportunity. Brother Ashford, honestly speaking, I feel so disappointed tonight, and I believe that they don't do justice to the Liberian people by allowing them by giving up considerable amount of time.
The thing about it, Brother Billy, this is not a partisan platform. This platform belongs to the sedition. It belongs to the Unity Party people. So as long as you're Liberian, be respectful, and you can come and say whatever you want to say, whether it makes sense or not. The Liberian people judge you. So this platform is for the sedition. It's also for the opposition as well. You know. Including the leading establishment, the Unity Party. Go ahead, make a point. You got 1.5 minutes.
Yes, that's my point. That's my first point. And my second point is when you say that it seems to be you were carried by her accent or what. When you say that her tone is so, I mean that, bro. Look, bro, as we should be discussing with something substantial that is very important. The lady, having a sweet accent doesn't mean you're intelligent. To be honest, you ask the lady what went wrong in Liberia and what do you think she can change. With corruption in Liberia, massive corruption, she can't talk about that. With youth unemployment, she can't talk about that. Well, hospitals without drugs or medication, she can't talk about that. These are challenges for any nation. And she sits on your platform tonight and she refused to acknowledge that this government does not perform. That's the reason they will put it on. She can't say that.
Thank you.
Yet, and she's there to just talk about Joseph Boakai, how to fund his medical bill, which is not important.
Thank you.
The reason why Liberian people put the CDC out because they were discontented and the country was heading in the wrong direction.
Thank you so much, my brother.
25 million more for exercise. We don't know where it's the money. And she sits on the platform tonight and she can't talk about that.
Thank you, my brother.
What we want is transparency and accountability. Irrespective of who is the president of Liberia, we want to ensure that Liberia have access to medication.
Thank you, Mr. Billy. Thanks for calling.
Electricity.
Thank you so much.
Education is very important.
Thank you. We also have a 614 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 7225. Please tell us your name.
My name is George Parker, and I'm calling from Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, wow. Mr. Parker, my man, it's been a long time. The last time we met was back in 2015 on the oil field in North Dakota. What's up, my man?
Not bad. I'm doing great, my brother. I'm doing well, extremely well.
Give me 2 minutes,
the
man.
ups and downs of life, I'm doing good.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Look, Ashford, I don't know why most Liberians are surprised with some of the things coming out of Liberia. We've been around. I'm in my mid-50s, my brother. We've been around for a long time. You're up there to engage. You've seen a lot as well. But I tell you something, Ashford, nothing has changed in Liberia. Nothing has changed. We've seen governments come, governments go, and nothing has changed. We sat down in Liberia 1980. We chanted Native Woman Born So You Come Woman Born Road. That one came pass. 1990, we chanted For Do to Go. We were all on BBC with listening to Taylor coming. We were rejoicing. Taylor came, the time came, people crying like, oh, you came on mine, came on powerful for you. Until Liberians have come to the realization that we all have one thing in common, and it is the Republic of Liberia. And in spite of our differences, we should put them aside and put Mama Liberia first. We ain't going nowhere. You see this lady that was on the program a few minutes ago and talking? Listen to some of the things that woman said, my brother. Look, like the previous speaker said, you don't have to be from the diaspora. You don't have to be from Pluto to have a beautiful voice and sound, and people think that you sound or you educated. My brother, that's zero. Because I can tell you, 60% of the people some of us have interacted with in the diaspora, they're not educated at all. And some of these people talk nonsense. Nonsense. It is just the way of the Liberian people. Somebody called me from Liberia telling me, say, oh, they fired my celibate. What I got to do with what you call firing your celibate? What is that?
Thank
Only
you.
for the man to tell me, say, oh, they stole my cell phone.
Thank you, Paco.
You know, we got to change. We got to change some of these things out for. And I do appreciate you having me on. On your show this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we are out of time. The last caller will not go. That's a 267 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 7287. Please tell us your name.
My name is GRLEY. Thank you for having me, ASHFORD. I'm calling from Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania.
Is it the Secretary General of the association in PA?
Absolutely, yes.
What's up, my brother? Welcome. Give me the last 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My only advice that I have for the incoming President Ambassador Joseph Boakai is that audit. He has to carry out an audit, not just of the George Weah government, but also of the Ellen Johnson government he served in. In addition to that, there should be something called a life, I'm forgetting the phrase, but I'm a supporter of Tiawan Gonglo.
I know.
It's called lifestyle audit. That's it. That's the point I'm trying to make. On a maybe quarterly basis, he should also carry out something called a lifestyle audit of the ministers, of cabinet ministers, directors, and other heads of autonomous agencies quarterly, just to be sure that monies that are being paid, salaries that are being paid to these people commensurate with the property that they are building across the country.
Thank you.
That's the second point. The third point I want to make is,
and you got 10 seconds.
He should try and make his government one of inclusion, a government of inclusion, regardless of the fact that the folks from the Southeast did not vote overwhelmingly for him, for Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai should be accommodated. His government should be inclusive of every sector of the Liberian economy, of the Liberian population. So thank you so much,
thank you, Jerry
ASHFORD, for the show.
Thank you. Okay, and folks, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to be with you tonight. God willing, we'll be back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. Until then, don't forget to tune in on December the 15th. That's when George Solo comes to Bridgewater, Africa, and to make his presence known, to break his silence for the first time since these elections. And I said that was the last caller, but this is my professional colleague from Iowa. We worked at the state-owned radio station in Liberia many years ago. Mr. James Akwe, welcome to the show. Give me 2 minutes, please.
ASHFORD the Giant. What's up, my man? What's up?
God is good, man.
So I mean, yes, if I would provide my own advice, to the incoming, administration, definitely I can say this much. Liberians in and out of the country are calling for an audit, and indeed, and I see that the incoming leadership, I mean, is somehow embracing that, and they made it very clear that it's going to be done without prejudice, and this will be no witch hunt. And yeah, and also I should not people should not misconstrue this witch hunt with reconciliation and and the rest of it. When we speak of accountability, I think the government will just be trying to see how well and they can make certain people and be accountable, put their feet to the fire.
Thank you, brother.
So that they can always speak to one, especially where they always put all budget surpluses,
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
this is
James.
what Liberian want, and I just know definitely that the incoming administration will do those things that will rekindle hopes, rekindle, hope, put smile on the faces of Liberians, and do those things definitely that Liberian wants. So that second term re-election will be much more easier.
Thank
Have
you,
a
my
wonderful
brother.
time.
Thank you. And again, folks, don't forget to tune in on December the 15th. That's when George Solo comes to the Bridge with Africa. What does he have to say? He breaks his silence for the first time since the elections. George G. Solo Godi will be coming to Bridge with Africa. And folks, I'm telling you, one of the smarter things Joseph Yuma Boyka can do, because he said within the first 100 days, there will be no car stock on a major road in Liberia. And that's a big statement. It can be done. There will be no car stock on a major road in Liberia. And to make it easy for the next 6 years, complete the southeastern roads, connect our country again. Now you have to go through the Africas before you can come to Grand Jita, before you can come to Maryland, before you can go to Sino. This is unheard of. You remember back in the day in the 80s where you used to get in the car from Zwedru, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. in the evening, you're in Monrovia? We need those days. In fact, it will be even quicker now if the roads are paved with coal tar, you know. And again, that's all the time I have to be with you. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place. You call yourselves the professionals. You say you have the know-how. So stop telling people to manage their expectations. We will be looking forward to see what you have in store for the Liberian people. Until then, folks, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. And I want to say a big thanks to the callers, Tony Wilson, and my brother Orlando Cranker, and the rest of the crew that called. James Akwe, thank you so much for calling. And the wise man once said, tough times don't last, tough people do. What people think about you and the possibility for your dream, it is none of your business. Let them worry about it. When somebody said no to you, don't take it personally. They are not saying no to you. They are saying no to themselves. They are saying no to living a bigger life. They are saying no to what is going on in their heads because they're suffering from possibility blindness. When life knocks you down, make sure you fall on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. You have the power in you to do so. You have comeback power. Folks, the mastermind, the medicine of the microphone, Africa's media do extraordinaire. He doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. I'm ASHFORD. Have a good night.